What's poppin' YouTube? I'm Vibes, and today I'm bringing you a video that is heavily requested. Right now I'm on an SC Bikes Fat Quad, and this is the bike I'm gonna be teaching you guys how to wheelie on, so stay tuned. So before you even start wheeling, there's a few things that you wanna have and make sure that you got going on. One of the most important things is your brakes. Your brakes are the most important thing when it comes to wheeling. They're gonna save you when you fall back. It's so important. So you wanna make sure that your brakes are good enough to where when you press them, you're able to stop the wheel. So if I'm walking, I can press them and the wheel will lock up. You don't want to have them bad to where you can't do that, because you're gonna be back on the bike, and if you try, you're just gonna loop out. So brakes, super key. The second thing is your seat. So when your seat is flat and you bring it up, you would fall off the bike, you would slide off of it. But when your seat is tilted and you're wheeling, now you're level. So you're gonna be way more balanced, you're gonna have way more control, and it's just a way better thing. Another important thing is your seat height. So when you're first learning how to wheelie, you don't wanna have your seat slammed all the way down. I have it slammed down because I'm a little bit more advanced, I do combos, I do different tricks. But when you're first starting, it's perfectly fine to raise your seat up a little bit. So when your seat is lower, you have a lower center of gravity. So it's not the best for somebody who's first learning. When it's higher, it's easier to pull the bike up, it's easier to do so many more things. So in the end, having your seat up is way better when you're starting off. And as you progress, as you get better, you can figure out what you like. You can lower your seat if you want, you can do a bunch of different things. But be progressive, don't rush it, just do you. Okay, so now we're gonna teach you how to actually wheelie. So to even do a wheelie, the front wheel has to come off the ground. So right now we're gonna be teaching you that part of it. Before you even do anything, before you start, before you try, it's gonna take time. It's not easy. It took me a while to actually learn. So don't get discouraged. Don't quit just because you're not getting it. Be patient and it'll definitely come. You see a lot of people wheeling, you think of it as the arms. It's really not your arms. You see people leaning over and pulling it up, pulling it up, pulling it up. When you're wheeling, you're actually worrying about the pedal. You're using the pedal to actually pull you up. So I'll show you now. So you want to find your dominant foot. For me, my dominant foot is my right foot. And I'll show you flat, just standing still. When you push the pedal down, the bike comes up. You want to have the pedal at about this height. You don't want to have it too low to where you don't have enough leverage. You don't want to have it too high to where you can't pull it up. Have it just about in the middle, about right here, and you'll be good. So one thing that you want to do is when you're first learning how to wheelie, don't go super fast. You want to be going slow so that you have more torque when you're pulling up the wheel. In the beginning, you're gonna wanna get that repetition down of just hitting the brake. You wanna get your finger used to it. You wanna make sure that your brain has that connection with your brake to where if you end up going too far back, it's just a natural thing. You press the brake, you press the brake, you press the brake. Now that you're figuring out how to pull it up, you're gonna get high enough to where you're gonna start needing them. Get it high, hit the brake. Get it high, hit the brake. As you see, as soon as I hit the brake, I come down. Wheelie. Alright, so now that you got the pull up and the brake down, you're gonna come across something called the balance point. As you can see, I got a shirt on, balance point right there. So, the balance point is it's the most amazing thing when you first find it. I remember the first time I was wheeling, I was in my driveway, and I was doing the exact same thing as you guys. I was wheeling, hitting the brake, wheeling, hitting the brake. And then I got to this point where I felt like I was just coasting. I was still pedaling, but I wasn't using the brake at all. It felt so amazing. So you guys are gonna feel that, and it's gonna feel amazing, I'm telling you. So the balance point, like I just said, is the point where you're on the bike and you're not having to use the brake, you're not having to pedal like that, and it's just, you're completely at balance. So it's different for everybody. You have to find it yourself. You have to be not too far forward, not too far back. It's the sweet spot, literally. Once you find that, it's gonna be amazing. Just keep practicing, keep trying, you're gonna find it, I'm telling you. Alright, so one issue that you might come across, something that I struggled with a lot when I first was learning how to wheelie, is not being able to sit down in the wheelie. The biggest thing, like I said, is practice, practice, practice. The more you do something, the better you're gonna get at it. So, with that said, just keep going out there, keep practicing. but there's a few things you can do. One of the biggest things, like I said in the beginning, is raising up your seat. If you're standing up learning how to wheelie, the lower your seat is, the lower you have to go in order to sit down. The higher it is, you don't have to sit down as much, so it's going to be easier. And like I said, the better you get, the lower your seat can go. So now that you found that balance point, your brake, once again, comes in crucially. So you don't want to be hitting your brake too much, you don't want to be hitting your brake too little. The brake comes in, the only time that you need to use your brake in a wheelie is when you get past that balance point. So tap the brake, use modulation, that's what that's called. Don't slam on the brake, be very light with it. Learn your brake, trust your brake. Tap, 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 tap. So watch, I'll drop back and hit the brake, and I'm good. You got the pull up, you got the brake, you got the balance point, so now it's time to put everything together. It'll look a little something like this. Alright, so now that you guys got the basic wheelies down, I'm gonna be showing you some stuff that you can do once you get later on, once you get more advanced. Combos. Alright, so in this video, we went over the balance point, went over the brake, went over the pull-up. You also saw some stuff that you could do when you're a little bit more advanced. But please, do not think you're gonna get to that point super fast. It's gonna take time. You're gonna have to go out every day. You're gonna have to do all these different things that nobody else is gonna wanna do. Practice is key. Repetition is key. You can't get it, be patient, like I said. And with that said, make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. And with that said, see y'all later. Bow!